Those opposed? All right, agenda is approved. Disclosure of conflicts of interest. Chair doesn't see any. Disclosure of external contacts or discussions. We don't have any. Okay, approval of minutes from the April 6th meeting. We'll take,
This is Ken. I've reviewed the minutes and motion for them to be approved.
okay, we have a motion to approve the minutes. Second.
Fred Winger, second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the meeting, or approve the minutes of the April 6th meeting. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the minutes of the April 6th meeting are approved. Board reports, Board of County Commissioner actions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Michelle Cricks, Johnson County Planning. Just a couple items that were originally presented at the March 2nd Southeast Consolidated Zoning Board meeting that went to the BOCC after the last Southeast Consolidated Zoning Board meeting in April. So first we had a conditional use permit for an oversized accessory building at 18805 West 175th Street. Was recommended for approval, and a preliminary plat and final plat for two residential lots at 21035 West 180th Street. Both those cases were presented at the April 7th BOCC meeting, and both were approved. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Michelle. Planning Commission actions.
Diane Wicklund, Planning Department. I'll give that quick report. The next meeting for the Planning Commission is going to be May 10th. And on that agenda is for the Planning Commission to continue review of the proposed regulations for solar facilities. The Board of County Commissioners held their public hearing, public meeting on that, and remanded those proposed regulations back to the Planning Commission for further review. And so that meeting will be on May 10th. I think that's it on that.
Okay, thank you, Diane. All right, Stillwell Community Plan.
There's no update this month.
Okay, thanks, Ken. All right, so we'll move on to business before the board. Application number SE 22199 CUP. Conditional use permit at 14949 West 156th Circle. Leslie and Greg Ramirez, applicants and landowners. Okay. So are the applicants here, by the way? Oh, there you are. Fantastic. Okay. So planning office presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the zoning board. Michelle Cricks with Johnson County Planning. And this is case number SE-22199 CUPOX, a request for a conditional use permit for a 1,728 square foot oversized accessory building on 1.77 acres, zoned residential neighborhood 1, located at 14946 West 156th Circle. Current improvements on the subject property include a single family home and 120 square foot accessory building. With the existing 120 square foot accessory building, plus the proposed 1,728 square foot building, the total cumulative accessory building area on the property would be 1,848 square feet. Per Article 18, Section 6 of the Johnson County Subdivision Regulations, when lots are greater than 1 acre, the size of an accessory building increases from a base size of 900 square feet by 300 square feet for each full acre of property. When fractional lot areas are present, such in this case, then the size of the accessory building would then be determined on a pro-rated basis. For the 1.77 acre subject property, a maximum accessory building size permitted by right would be 1,131 square feet. This request exceeds the maximum accessory building size by 717 square feet, or about 63%. So on the slide in front of you is highlighting the subject property. To the north, the main arterial of 151st Street, to the south of 159th, and just west is Black Bob Road. And you can see the property there. The city boundary of Olathe is just right around that area as it kind of weaves in and out of different properties. Here's the locals, regional zoning there, the subject property highlighted in blue. The most of the properties within that neighborhood are zoned residential neighborhood 1. Within the city, there's single family residential, and then there's a little pocket of rural district there to the south. Here is an aerial of the subject property, again outlined in blue there at the very end of the cul-de-sac. You can see where the driveway comes in off of 156th Street, and then there's a large existing concrete pad off to the south and southwest of the home. That pad site is the proposed location of the accessory building. This is in the staff report, but here is the site plan. You can see where the size of the garage would be. You can see where it would be proposed to be 30 feet from the south property line, 25 feet from the west property line, and then 160 feet there from the right of way. The proposed building would comply with all setbacks in the R1 zoning district, excuse me, RN1 zoning district. The proposed accessory building would be a height of 16.9 feet with an area, like I've said, of 1,728 square feet. The structure would be constructed of manufactured wood siding with smart trim with asphalt shingles and would be painted to match the home with a Sherwin-Williams retreat color. The accessory building would be used for personal storage, such as vehicles and yard equipment. With the residential quality materials proposed for the project, the accessory building, in staff's opinion, would be compatible with the character of the neighborhood. And this doesn't come across very well on the slide, but it is kind of a palette of the proposed building color, which was also included in the staff report packet. Here's an aerial of the neighborhood and just other accessory, larger accessory buildings around. There's a lot of these lots have smaller accessory buildings, but I kind of want to highlight some of the larger larger accessory buildings. There's one oversized that I was able to find there right at 155th and Black Bob, where on 1.8 acres, they proposed 1,461 square feet, which is about 321 square feet over what was permitted by right. Here is an aerial view again of the subject property, just from a little different angle. You can see there along the south and west property line that there is a tree line of kind of a mix of deciduous and evergreens. That tree line would provide some natural screening from Black Bob and a neighboring property to the south. There's a view of the subject property from Black Bob Road. This is not a zoomed in view or anything, so this would be kind of at what the normal eye would see. You can see what the subject property, you can see the proposed location of where the oversized accessory building be with that concrete slab. And you can see the tree line that was also established there, and which would temper the view from Black Bob. And of course, this picture was taken before the leaves started filling in for the spring. Over the weekend, planning staff received a comment from Kamala Landshut regarding the project. This email has been placed on the dais for the zoning board and will be made part of the public record. Because we do have a zoning board member attending via Zoom, I'm going to go ahead and read it so he also can hear the nature of the email, and he will also have the same information so he can make his consideration. Quote, hello, I am writing regarding the Southeast Zoning Board meeting on May 4th regarding the application filed by Leslie and Greg Ramirez. I am not able to attend the meeting as I am still at work at that time. Here is my statement. I would appreciate being read into the record. Tim and Kamala Landshut, who reside at 14903 West 156 Circle, live in the same cul-de-sac as Greg and Leslie Ramirez. We have no concerns regarding the accessory building being completed on their property. Thank you, Kamala Landshut. No other comments were received by planning staff regarding this item. Planning staff recommends approval of a conditional use permit to allow the addition of a 1,728 square foot accessory building for a total of 1,848 square feet of accessory buildings on the subject property located at 14946 West 156th Circle, subject to the stipulations outlined in the staff report. Here is a list of those recommended stipulations. And here is a recommended motion. And with that, I'm available for questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Questions for Michelle from the board? All right, excuse me, no questions. Would the applicant like to speak?
I am Leslie Ramirez, 14946 West 156th Circle. Is that better? Okay. Do you want me to repeat or? Okay. I just wanted to come up here and answer any questions you guys might have at all for us.
I have any questions? I don't think we have any questions, but thanks for coming up.
No,
Thanks for
thank
being
you.
here.
Thank you.
Any public comments regarding this case? No, I'm not seeing any public comments, so any further questions from the board?
I just want to comment, Michelle, I think you did an excellent job in putting the documents together, answering all the questions proactively, so I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, I'm going to close the public comment section. So discussion of the application from the board.
That was my comment.
That was your comment. I mean, I would just say, I mean, I support this. They've done a nice application. Michelle did a good job presenting it. Seems like it's in line with what else is going on there in the neighborhood. We have a motion.
Emily Coleman, I move to recommend approval of a conditional use permit to allow the addition of a 1,728 square foot accessory building for a total of 1,848 square feet of accessory buildings on the subject property located at 14946 West 156th Circle with stipulations and for the reasons outlined in the staff report.
Okay, perfect. Motion.
Before I second that, I just have a quick comment. The presentation you had, the application number is SE 22, and this has 21. So I'm not sure which one. I just want to make sure technically which.
Michelle Cricks, Johnson County Planning. Yes, it should be SE 22. I apologize for the typographical error.
Perfect.
This is, can I second the motion?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, recommendation, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Should we take a roll? We have one on Zoom.
Yeah, we can take roll if you like.
Fred Winger,
Aye.
Emily Coleman,
Aye.
Aye. Oh,
Dennis Bolin,
aye.
Kenneth Klingensmith,
Aye.
John Lloyd,
Aye.
and Dan Foyle.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So that's going to be recommended by the zoning board up to the county commissioners. When?
This item will be presented to the June 9th Board of County Commissioners meeting, starting at 9:30 a.m. here at the County Administration Building, 111 South Cherry Street, 3rd floor board hearing room, Olathe, Kansas.
All right, fantastic. Thank you, Michelle. Okay, we're going to move on to the second item this evening. And thank you, folks, by the way, for coming and participating. We're going to move on to the second item, application number SE 22-201 PDP FDP preliminary and final development plan 7225 West 207th Street. Woody Palmer, applicant and landowner. Okay, we have a is the applicant here? Yes. Okay, perfect. Thank you for coming. Okay, so, oh, there's Diane over there already. All right. Thanks, Diane. Go ahead.
Thank you. Diane McClellan, Planning Department. I would like to enter in the staff report dated April 27th, 2022 into the record. Just a quick note, I am covering this application for Michelle Leiniger, who wrote the staff report. This is an application for a revised preliminary and final development plan for an addition of 2 new self-storage buildings on the property. The applicant is Woody Palmer, and he's here in the audience. The property is located at 7225 West 207th Street, which is 207th and Metcalf Street. As you can see here on the screen, that's kind of a zoomed out view. And this is kind of a more zoomed in view showing the subject property. You can see there's 2 existing buildings there. So that's the property. So the applicant is proposing to add 2 additional self-storage units to the existing site, which is developed with 2 storage buildings currently and outdoor exterior storage. The new units are proposed on the east side of the site along a screening berm and on the south side of the site near the back of the property. There are no changes to the exterior storage area that's proposed. So the south building will be 5,280 square feet in size, and the east building will be 3,000 square feet in size. So here's a copy of the final development plan. So the 2 red squares are the location of the 2 new proposed storage buildings. And then here is a picture of the existing storage buildings. And so these new proposed buildings will match and just look like these existing buildings. The subject property also has an existing conditional use permit for outdoor storage that was approved in 2018. The 2 new proposed buildings were not included in the original approved plan, which is the reason for the revised preliminary development plan along with the final development plan for the 2 new buildings. So just kind of a quick review of the golden criteria. Our golden analysis is the changes to the approved preliminary development plan and in the current final development plan are consistent with the PEC 3 industrial zoning that the property has and the nearby similar industrial uses. The character of the area is both industrial and agricultural in nature. In the proposed PDP and FDP are for an expansion to this existing use, which was developed about 4 years ago. The use for self-storage facility remains compatible with the character of the neighborhood. The self-storage facility has minimal traffic impact and is typically spread out more to the evenings and the weekends. And the expansion of the use will not negatively impact the adjacent parcels as the proposed buildings will be within already screened areas, including behind existing buildings. So in terms of the final development plan analysis, the site have 1 existing access drive off of 207th Street. And this access is to remain and no additional entrance points are proposed. The buildings are proposed to have lighting attached and no other exterior or pole lighting is proposed. And that lighting, there's a stipulation on lighting and it will be shielded, facing downward, our typical stipulations with no glare offsite. The 2017 development plan had landscaping approved and that landscaping has been installed. And there are no new landscaping required for this change for these two new buildings. So the proposed structures are about 16 feet tall and constructed out of metal. The new buildings will match the existing buildings. And fencing already exists on the property, and that site is accessed by a secured gate along 207th Street. The proposed buildings will be behind the existing buildings and screened from the street by the existing landscaping and berm. And the new building on the east side of the property will help screen the existing exterior outdoor storage area. The building coverage is about 8% now with the two new buildings. And just to note that an additional fire hydrant will be required on site in order to meet the 400-foot maximum distance between a hydrant and a building. And the applicant is aware of this stipulation and has agreed to that. So therefore, planning staff is recommending approval of the revised preliminary and final development plans with stipulations. And those stipulations you can see on page 7 and 8 of the staff report. And here is a suggested motion also. If the board, for the board's reference. And I think with that, I'll stop and take any questions.
Okay. Thank you, Diane. Any questions for staff from the board?
Diane, this is Ken Klingensmith. Can you go back to slide 4?
Say that again.
Slide 4.
Oh,
The two buildings are those in red, correct?
that's correct. So if you can see my hand, so, you know, there's two existing buildings here and here where the crosshairs are, and the two new buildings are where the red squares are. That's correct.
Will the red building to the east facing Metcalf, will it have and this might be an applicant question, have the same front design as the building facing 207th Street?
I believe so. Oh, okay. So.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Diane, I had a question, Fred Winger. The road that will access this, it's in the building setback, but it's okay to have a road in the building setback. The building setback is 30 feet to the property line,
That's correct.
Okay. But there will be a road obviously around. You'll enter for building building D, you'll enter, they'll have access to both sides, right? From the north and south.
I believe so, for circulation around the
Right.
entire building, yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Diane, for staff?
No, but I did want to comment, Ken Klingensmith again. Appreciate on page 7, the exterior lighting. I actually pulled up the Stillwell lighting guidelines and it's consistent. So I appreciate the attention to that.
Thanks, Ken. Okay, thanks, Diane. Okay, applicants, would you guys like to come up and speak for a couple minutes?
I don't have anything to add.
Okay, let's go ahead and come up and give your name and address, and we'll see if anybody's got any questions and get you on the record here.
Right, I'm Woody Palmer, and I'm representing the property that's at 7225 West 207th Street.
Thank you. Any questions for the applicant?
No questions, just a comment. I've been by the property many times and I appreciate how well organized it is. It's clean, it's well done. So appreciate that.
Thank you.
I would second that.
All right.
I would agree as well.
It's like
Okay,
from above.
thanks, Mr. Palmer. Okay, public comments on this case. Anybody like to speak? Nobody on the Zoom? Okay, we don't have any public comments, so last chance for questions. Board, questions of the applicant or staff?
The landscaping that's outlined on.
Second to the
Is
last
this
page.
required landscaping? Seems. Diana, that's on the,
Looking on the elevation,
It
Fred.
is second to the last page of the
all this,
staff
is
packet.
that all required? That landscaping?
He's looking at the set of plans, the architectural plans that,
It's existing already. So it's part of the existing.
Yeah, I believe so with the conditional use permit and the final development plan, my understanding is that, there was landscaping, screening, berming required at that point, and I believe that's all been installed and existing now. And that is also sufficient and meets the screening requirements for these two new buildings.
okay? That adequate answer for you, Fred?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks, Diane. Any other questions from the board for staff or the applicant? Okay, we're gonna close the public comment section. Discussion among the board.
I think it's consistent with Fred Wingert. I think it's consistent with the historical use of the property. I think the plan was well thought out. Appreciate staff's work and the applicant's work on this.
Thank you, Fred.
I agree with him because it's good use for that property since it's right there next to railroad tracks. And can't use it for much of anything else, so.
Thank you, Dennis. I got a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the preliminary and final development plan for a self-storage expansion on the subject property located at 7225 West 207th Street with stipulations and based on the reasons outlined in the staff report.
We have a-
Ken Klingensmith, I second.
we have a motion and a second. Let's proceed with the roll call vote.
Aye.
Emily Coleman,
Aye.
Dennis Boland,
Aye.
Kenneth Klingensmith,
Aye.
John Lloyd,
Aye.
Dan Foyle.
Aye.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
that recommendation passes, going to be sent on up to the Board of County Commissioners when?
Diane Wickland. So this will go to the Board of County Commissioners on June 9th at 9:30 a.m. Here in this building, 111 South Cherry, 3rd floor.
All right. Thank you, Diane. All right, thank you, folks. Okay, so that's it for business before the board. Do we have any other business? Dan, you got any other business out there in Zoom land?
I'm all good, thanks.
All right. Okay, anybody want to make a motion to adjourn?
Ken, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Emily Coleman, I second.
All right, a motion to adjourn and a second. Let's do a roll call vote just for fun.
Fred Weingert,
Aye.
Emily Coleman,
Aye.
Dennis Boland,
Aye.
Kenneth Klingensmith,
Aye.
John Lloyd,
Aye,
and Dan Foyle.
Aye.
Thank
all
you.
right. That's it. We're adjourned, everybody. Thank you. See you next month for the baseball thing. Hope I'm sick.
I will be in